Hey, welcome to another episode of The Path on my journey to become a TechnoWizard product designer. All right. So, this episode just going to briefly go over essentially what I learned this week because we're doing a team check-in um, with my instructor and the team. As evident as by the name. But yeah, I'm kind of tired today, but I actually had a really good day. So, um, this morning I did some really good yoga that got like the activity going, you know, yoga to build strength and flexibility. So that was cool. It was like a calisthenic type of exercise, but at the same time being a really good calming yoga thing too. So that was cool. That got my blood flowing pretty well. And then um, I got a good amount of productivity done. So I got a lot of the interview questions done. So and I sent confirmation emails as well. So already started reaching out to all the participants that's going to be in our user interviews, wrote up all the script, all the questions we're going to ask them for both subject matter experts and the actual users. So that was pretty good to see all that being done, and that got me moving. And finally, heading up with this, gonna finish up my day pretty much with this user. I'm sorry, this meeting team check-in. Boom, bam. All right. So I'm trying to. I went ahead and just made the framework of what I want to show here because I didn't want to spend my time doing that on the video here, so I can see what I'm working with. But however, I did not. I was going back and forth with myself here if I should make this slide as a what we've learned or kind of do it of a what we've done type of thing. So essentially, what this is. Um, if it's not evident by the name, every week we have to create a presentation to show what we done, what we did the past week, pretty much. Um, so usually, uh, I don't know what I was gonna say. My words is just swimming out of my head. um, but yeah, usually I really just copied over the stuff we did last week, but I like to change it a little bit. So I put a picture in here, instead of what we had before. And I want to change this up because usually it's what we've done and where we are in like the design process, but we kind of know where we are in the design process now. Um, and I feel like it's kind of redundant to talk about what we've done because the only other person looking at this right now is our instructor. And I wanted to get more into the mindset of not just creating these assignments as an assignment, but as something as a deliverable that we would give to somebody who we're working with, you know. And I spoke with my instructor earlier today, and he basically that's basically his feedback because I was worried about the competitive analysis and the exploratory research, things not really being exactly what the assignment called for. But he was like, you want to focus more on how you would present this to a real client or to a real person, a stakeholder that you're working with. And so if this was a check-in that I was working with a stakeholder who already seen my work, that's what I'm looking at. Granted, if I was talking to somebody who is not really in on the project, who only checks in every week, then yeah, I would create, show what we did. But I know that we're talking to somebody who has been, here pretty much every day, who has looked at these assignments on a daily basis. So they already know what we've done. They really want to know. I think they really want to know what we're thinking, what we essentially what we learned. So yeah, that's my kind of my rationale here. And so yeah, I kind of been split between them because of what I just explained. So I think I'm gonna just go for it, straight what we learned, forget what we did. Because I can go all over all the things that we did, contingency plan, research plan, um, and so on and so forth. But I really want to focus on the insights, deliverables, and stuff like that because I know this particular stakeholder is our instructor who's been looking at us on a daily basis and stuff like that. So that's what I'm gonna go with. So I got these here: kickoff meeting, product persona, workshop. And in that case, actually, that means I can move this because before I was going to turn this into this. Like these two projects we should have had done already, but I just like I said in the last couple of episodes, I just haven't been feeling really productive. I haven't been able to finish these two assignments, so that pushed us back, unfortunately. Um, so initially, I was gonna write those insights separately, but it makes sense to just go right into what we learned. Um, so yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I might move this up here. And really, I could just extend this into what we had before. Actually, yeah, let me go back. So I can extend this into what we learned. And then turn this into this actual things that we learned them from. So here I'll just say what we learned, what we basically the source of the project, and over here I'll put like insights and stuff like that, pictures, and progress, same thing. I can explain, briefly what each of these are. So if I want, I could still have this, I guess, but I still would want to put that up here. And then upcoming, again, I kind of fill this in, but in reality, all of these are pretty much due on the same day, or most of these. So I'm gonna have to move this stuff around a little bit. I'm not sure how that would look. Something like that. And then round two, oops, can go over here somewhere. And maybe I just put it all on the same line, really, even though might be a bit crowded, like that. I mean, in that case, I could just flip this whole thing around. Because there'll be more things on the bottom than in the top. Yeah, it's so crowded. Probably gonna move that, but for now, just leave that as it is. It's not the important part. So let's get into these insights, right? So what did we actually learn? Um, so from our kickoff meeting, we kind of learned more about what's about our client. So Clayton, he is a from Austin. Um, cares a lot about the space. Has done a lot of research in the space and stuff like that. Most of the time was spent with this proto persona. Let me go over my notes here, or really the note taker's notes. Troy. Here we go. So he made a nice little recap here. Looking to provide infrastructure for people in the community. Don't know where to go. Companies don't get credit. Usually through personal networking, employees, companies. Discover that happy hours, events. So yeah, this pretty much, you know, simple stuff here. So I'm wondering if we can might as well put stuff here as in the maybe put a picture of the persona. I don't have mural up right now, but this is another one. I'll do that later. Maybe I should just do a page like this for each one. So you never really want to put too many words, right? If I end up putting something like this stuff here, I keep going to that one. Oh, okay, that was strange. So you can see it'll be a lot of words and stuff. Granted, I'll paraphrase, but still, it's a lot, right? And it goes down a way, yeah. I mean, I could break it up, but ugh. Mm. So yeah, these are probably the main, how you can summarize the main insights that were gleaned from the meeting and the workshop. I'll still clean this up a lot. I would rather do this through pictures somehow. But we don't really have pictures. We just have the persona. I do want to show the persona too, which is really just a bunch of like cards. So it's kind of superfluous. Superfluous, yeah. And from the competitive analysis, even though these are in progress still, we've learned a lot from it. But it's stuff I have to like come up with. But yeah, oh, I'm sorry, y'all. Really low energy today. Don't like that. But let me just talk because I feel comfortable talking, and it'll help me go through things in my head, anyways. Because I'm not adding much there. All right. So, despite my low energy, I really like this project, and what got me was like the idea that they essentially want to do with QWELL is create a reliable communities portal. Um, a They really technically have a virtual community center, and they're in our competitive analysis we saw a lot of competitors, other nonprofits, organizations, and stuff like that offer community centers. The problem is that a lot of them are not clear on what they offer. Even though they do like list out, hey, these are the things we do, they're still not super clear on the type of events that you can go to at that place, uh, when those events happen, even the places that like I'll go that has a calendar or whatnot. It's not as intuitive as you would want in terms of just looking on the website and seeing immediately, what you want to do, what you can get into. That's why I like. I'm pretty sure that's why he pointed out the um, Union Lover Take Action website, because they showed, they had like a grid of just activities right then and there, and some of them showed like what the event was. It showed maybe the cost if it needed it. It showed like the date if necessary, and then you click on it, and it will show like a whole kind of a sidebar of all the details of that event, and immediately you can just hit join event. So I'm pretty sure that's what he has in mind, and that's very understandable too. And it's interesting because Austin has been seen to be like Austin, Texas has been seen to be one of the top uh, kind of friendly cities for LGBTQT people. Um, just behind, I think it was San Francisco and Seattle or something like that. Yeah, just behind one of those two or those two. And they have like a super high score in terms of the resources and services that they offer. The problem though is that from what I've seen, just a lot of these are scattered. And even like this very organization, QWELL, has partnered with other nonprofits to create citypride.com or citypride.org, which is essentially a directory, so you can search up any of those services. But like what I stated yesterday, with my product, with my idea, is that search itself is limited because you have to know what you're looking for, especially if there's like no auto completion, if it doesn't assist you in exploring the platform. You have to know what you're looking for in order to search it. You even have to know that the search feature exists, like that you can go to citypride.org and start searching directories. So there's definitely a huge gap in the marketplace for a really delightful, fun to use uh, product that matches people with those events, with those initiatives, and that matches businesses with those initiatives. That can show you all the services, products available, that can show you how to get involved, from a business standpoint and from the consumer standpoint, from you know the personal standpoint. So there's definitely a huge need for that, and there's a big, huge need for that in any niche, especially like with people of color. With Black people, like we don't have our own um, really good portal for that. Like imagine how cool it would be to have like a portal that shows you how you can get involved with Black initiatives, like to empower Black people, or to get involved with helping people out and stuff like that, from whether it be not just women of color, but I mean not just people of color, but women, um, other immigrants and stuff like that, maybe even like type of religion. So this is something, an idea that's really scalable even beyond this industry, beyond this marketplace. But just for this marketplace, it is super important. Just for this community, it's super important. And yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to helping out to think about how to create a solution for this problem, because it's a fascinating problem. Like, and it's sad that it's something that's not being solved right now. Because when I was looking that up, the with exploratory research, turns out that um, despite marriage being allowed in a lot of places, it's not allowed in Texas and Georgia and a lot of other places. You're still not even allowed to marry people, and just because you might have a different sexuality or gender identity or something like that. It's kind of ridiculous. And what's especially tragic is that violence against LGBT, QT people is second only to against Black people. This bias against this homosexuality, homophobia, and stuff like that is second only to racism. And I mean, it's a pretty big gap. Racism is like 50% of all like violence, uh, according to FBI, is based on race. But I think they said 20% of violence, or almost 20% of violence, is based on homophobia and related. So it's sad. It's very tragic, and it definitely needs to be more of these. This is why people want safe spaces. It's not a snowflake thing. It's a matter of life and death for a lot of people. Because you literally can't even walk around places um, without being accosted very violently, without being uh, discriminated against. Like, there's the data that shows that people in these communities, the LGBTQT communities, are are pretty much categorically paid less, are categorically given less job opportunities, are not given the not hired for jobs, or not promoted, or just paid less, just because of these stigmas and stuff like that. So I definitely understand and even empathize as a Black person with the need to own your community, not just rent. I think he even said that, Clayton said that in his deck. It's not just about renting and kind of like having a little piece of the community, but owning your piece of community, meaning every kind of stack, every layer of the stack needs to be owned by people in this community. So from if for instance, if you have a coat drive, right, for LGBTQ people, if it's not staffed by people who empathize or who are in this community, then what happens? They don't care. Like, there was even a stat that showed that people in nonprofit groups that aren't related to LGBTQ people, they experience higher levels of discrimination. They in a nonprofit group for, like, let's say, I don't know, violence against women, or trying to solve poverty or whatever. In these nonprofits groups that have nothing that aren't directly related to LGBTQ people, the LGBT people who work in those nonprofits are discriminated against. Like, that's just crazy. Like, you're supposed to be a socially good, empathetic uh company or whatever, and a group organization, and you're over there discriminating people who need that to sort of help the most. So it's crazy. But yeah, that's why it definitely needs to be a need for safe spaces, because it creates the opportunities to actually live the lives that they want to live. So I love that they have that Clayton is creating the Austin Outpost and QWELL Community Center foundations and stuff like that. um, it's amazing. I really like what he's doing, and I would definitely not gonna lie, I would copy that for the Black community and stuff like that. Like, the whole outpost idea is freaking genius. So if you haven't, like, it's all on his website, and he wants it to be scalable. So I don't feel like bad like saying this is a good thing to scale, because it is. But essentially, the Austin Outpost idea is that you have a community center, really dozens of community centers, one in each kind of vicinity of a major town, major city. But essentially, this outpost is a space for, like, literally for these people. Like, you can it clearly says, you know, for, you know, such and such people. You go in, and the very design is centered around that. So, for instance, with the Austin Outpost, I might as well share this screen. Um, but it's really amazing, and that is really built for, by, and you know, um, of these people. So look at that. Look at that. It's beautiful. And you clearly see what's going on here. Like, who is for? You know, like, it's a calling card for your community. Like, how many of us can say that we have places for, you know, our communities that that um that really cater to, like, Black people, that really cater to, you know, this community or that community that's disenfranchised. So it's pretty amazing. So in this space, they have. Oh, let me. It's not coming up. It might be my internet slow. Yeah. But yeah, in this space, like, they have different rooms associated for each need. So a big need for these people, for people, is like shopping, right? So they have a shopping center. Well, it doesn't really showcase that here, but it was talking about, like, a kind of like a shopping center where you can, you know, buy things, buy products, by, you know, people in this community, that was created by people in the community. They have, you know, come on, man, all these pictures. They have some good pictures. Well, if you get a chance, look it up, austinoutpost.org. um but yeah, so in this space, you know, they have a lot of things specifically built for these people, that's in the community. They have murals, you know, they have uh private rooms where you can go there to get, you know, mentorships, or to get help for something, or to get testing, or um you know, medical services, whatever you need, you can get that, you know, here. Chopper. Thanks. Y'all can probably hear that. It's mad loud. Sheesh. Um, but yeah, it's really cool to see that. And how I see the idea for this project brief is that he wants to create a portal, you know, that's similar to this idea, where you have everything you need in that portal. So it can directly, you know, lead you to the people, the allies of this specific, you know, of this community. It could lead you to the community members in this community. It could show you the most important causes, the most important initiatives, you know, to go into. So yeah, I love all that. And I really look forward to, you know, seeing what we can design up for this solution. But yeah, might as well end that here. I'm gonna continue my slideshow. Probably get a nap before the thing. But otherwise, thanks for watching again, and I'll see you later. Let me stop